Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about the new season. Let me say something. Okay, I wanted to come and talk about Belle Collective. Hopefully, it's better than last season. Last season, I think we had 4 episodes in a 30-minute reunion. No shade to Carlos King, but baby, he's so worried about what's going on over at Bravo that and the Bravo celebrities and the girls over at Bravo TV that I feel like sometimes when it comes to his own shows, he kind of just drops the ball. Last season of Bell Collective was unacceptable. I'm sorry. I think it was 6 or 7 episodes, I think, in a one-part reunion. And then the main topic of the conversation that was happening, especially with Glenn and Leticia, Amanda, she wasn't even at the reunion. So that was part of the reason why I was not even going to review this season. But RHOP is about to end, and RHOA is coming on, I don't know when. And so I was like, I guess I can just fill the spot with RHOP leaving with Bell Collective. I don't know how long I'm going to stick around. I don't know. Because I don't know. I don't know. And plus, I feel like, I guess that's what every reality show is, just like regurgitated storylines. I feel like we're talking about the same stuff. With Bell Collective, I really feel like we're talking about the same stuff. Anyways, we're just gonna talk, and then yeah. So Leticia and Latrice, they still don't see eye to eye. Um, Leticia isn't wrong for feeling a way about Latrice not, I guess, informing her that it was a mess involving her husband and her friend, right? Because I feel like any of us would feel a way if a girl who we were friends with knew that your husband was possibly trying to hook up with her friend and she just kind of sat back and didn't say nothing. I could see how somebody could feel a way about it. On the flip side, it's like, girl, say something for what? Because you're not going nowhere. Say something for what? Because you're not going nowhere. So why do I need to get in the middle and tell you that your husband ain't shit when you know the nigga ain't shit? The nigga wasn't shit when he was out here taking paternity test and you was saying how you were raised a baby. The nigga ain't been shit since we met him season 1. So what do I need to tell you your husband ain't shit when you know he ain't shit and you ain't going nowhere? I'm more on Latrice's side than Leticia's in this one, believe it or not. Even though Latrice, wait, yeah, Latrice. I'm more on Latrice's side than Leticia's side, even though Latrice does need to Latrice needs to take accountability and acting as. Latrice needs to stop acting like she didn't know what the fuck Amanda was doing on Bell Collective last season. Latrice is an OG. She knew when her best friend was mic'd up, okay? She knew what was about to go on. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it just depends on if you feel like Latrice should have said something to Leticia about Amanda. Is that her name? Amanda or Angie? Whatever the girl name was. I guess it just depends on if you feel like Latrice should have said something to Leticia or not about, you know, Amanda's purpose on the show last season. At the end of the day, girl, y'all be with trifling ass niggas. Y'all ain't going nowhere, girl. I ain't got to tell you nothing about your man you already don't know. I don't have to come and tell you every time I heard something about your nigga in the streets. Okay, girl, your friend. I'm talking like I'm Latrice. Okay, girl, your husband tries to talk to one of my friends. Girl, your husband almost had a baby on you, girl. If you ain't left your husband after that, you're not leaving your husband after this. Okay? Anyways, so Leticia is shooting a pilot for the Leticia Pearson show. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. How can I say this without sounding like I'm shooting down somebody's dreams? I think that in 2026, when you have your boss, Carlos King, down to YouTube, when you've had Candy Burris, Dr. Heavenly, Nene Leakes, you've had a few people down to YouTube calling it home and creating their own space. So I think it's hard for me to take Leticia seriously with this talk show because I would have assumed, and I'm not saying just because other people dream right here that you can't dream right here. But I would assume that if Leticia was really trying to do a talk show, she would have done better just coming down to YouTube. I really do believe that. I think she just would have done better just coming down to YouTube. I think Leticia speaks very well. She's a public speaker, right? But I feel like with Leticia, it's not like Candy. You know how when Candy did something on Atlanta, Candy was gonna try to find something to do to generate some type of money every season. I feel like with Leticia, she just throwing stuff against the wall, and she's trying to see what will stick. Girl, what happened to your brunches? What happened to your empowerment? Whatever. What happened to the dishes you were selling? Are she still selling dishes? Girl, like, I feel like Leticia just throwing stuff against the wall to see what's gonna stick. Her first guest was Letitia Scott from Love and Marriage Huntsville. They basically just talked about the transition from being like a stay-at-home mom to, I guess wanting to be, a businesswoman. It was a cute conversation. She says that Glenn has never supported her in having a talk show. Glenn hasn't. I'm not going to get really wrapped up into Leticia and Glenn because I honestly believe that Leticia is not leaving Glenn under any circumstance. The motherfucker going to have to die. You know what I'm saying? And even then, she might stay single for a few decades afterwards. I think that Leticia and Glenn just use this as a storyline. Like Rashida and Kirk, I don't think that Leticia is ever going to leave Glenn. And I think that's okay if that's what Leticia wants. I mean, she's a goddamn fool, but if she want to be a fool in love with her and stay with her husband, that's all fine. That's fine and dandy. But I don't think that Leticia has any. I don't think she's leaving her husband. I think she just does this as a storyline. Girl, we've been talking about you and your husband and what y'all been going through since season 1. Again, girl, if you ain't let the nigga after he done went out here and stuck his dick in all types of bitches and possibly could have brought you back STDs and STIs and had babies on you and shit, girl, you ain't leaving now. Girl. Leticia had her ass on stage crying. Was it last season or the season before last? Talking about how when she left Glenn one time, all she had was 97 cents in her wallet, some crazy shit like that. Glenn does not want Leticia to work. Okay? So they go see a counselor. Girl, we just talking. We just gonna go ahead and get Glenn and Leticia out of the way. Glenn and Leticia go see a family friend. A counselor, life coach, whatever his title is. He thinks that since Leticia doesn't want to be a housewife, that he's not a priority. He thinks Leticia can't work and still have some type of independence. It's so crazy because you work. Can you work and still love Leticia? So why can't Leticia work and still love you the same? If you can work and still love Leticia the same, know what it is, and he pretty much said it. Glenn said that Leticia working. Let me make sure what. I put Glenn feels like Leticia wants this new independence, aka her own money, so she can leave him. That's why he doesn't want her to work. Glenn knows that if Leticia, Glenn does not want Leticia to work because he knows she can't leave him. It's no different than Jennifer Aiden on Real Housewives of New Jersey when she found out that her husband was cheating on her. Jennifer said out of her own mouth she ain't had no money. So bitch, I just basically stayed. Jennifer said that. Glendale knows that if Leticia really starts to generate some type of income to really live the life that she wants to live, then she will fucking leave me. That's why I want her at the house, not working, not having her own money. Because I know that if I have the money, I have the power. When she has her own money, she has her own power. That's all it is. And he said it in that scene. That's how he feels. He feels if Leticia starts to make her own money, that she will leave him. Just like the girls on Housewives do. They get on these shows to get their own money so they can eventually leave those fucked up marriages. I just don't think Leticia leaving Glenn, though. I think it's just like a storyline. But we're going to talk about it, I guess. He says he's a traditional man. He wants his wife at the house. Girl, you's a motherfucking fool. Bitch, I wish I would be walking around here, girl, with a husband. Girl, talking about, I looked up and I couldn't even buy myself a motherfucking cheeseburger. Girl, y'all some motherfucking fools. Girl, bitch, I can do bad by myself. I don't need no nigga. Girl, I don't need no nigga to walk around here and not be able to buy myself a cheese. You know how crazy that sounds to have a husband? But of course, you can't leave because you ain't got no goddamn money. Girl. Marie Monroe and Zuri is her daughter. Marie has a conversation with her daughter. I saw some people online saying that the conversation was too much. They felt like it was too much for Zuri. I don't think it was. Girl, y'all been thinking these kids are stupid. Basically, Marie was telling Zuri that her father promised, basically he wasn't going to cheat again. And she found out that he was still talking to his ex-girlfriend, and that's why she called it quits again. I don't think anything was wrong with the conversation. I thought it was age appropriate. Zuri ain't no motherfucking fool. Girl, these kids be knowing shit. Girl, the girl is on a whole... The second thing is, girl, they on the whole goddamn reality TV show. The same way Dr. Wendy from RHOP was telling us in the reunion yesterday, or whenever it came on, how her son, when they got arrested for alleged insurance fraud, how when they went and picked him up from school the next day, her son had already Googled and asked him, where were y'all at last night? They were trying to play like everything was fine and dandy. But the little boy already knew what was going on. He was just trying to see what the fuck they was going to say. Okay? My niece, bitch, I'm a nobody. Okay, well, I'm a somebody, bitch, okay? Bitch, my niece Googled me. All my nieces had to know was I was down to YouTube. My name was Rodney the Voice. And my niece Tatum, she just turned 11 the other day. Girl, my niece Tatum, went to school and put my name in Google. Hello? So it makes no sense for Marie to not be honest with her daughter when her daughter is definitely old enough. My niece is 10. Zuri got to be what, 12, 13? She know what the fuck is going on with her mama and her daddy. Marie needs to be honest with her. She ain't got to be out here like, oh, yeah, your daddy out here fucking other bitches and hoes. But girl, your daddy was talking to his girlfriend after we got back together. And that's why I had to break up with him. And that was a problem that we had earlier in our relationship. Girl, be honest with your daughter. Now, I'm going to say this. Marie is a goddamn... Girl, when I tell you... That's why I don't even want to review this show. Because I just feel like it's women looking stupid. over ain't shit niggas. Like time and time and time again. And we have this conversation season after season after season. Like you looking like a dummy and crying because your nigga ain't shit, but you been knowing the nigga ain't shit. So why the fuck you still crying for? Like the nigga not being shit ain't just hit you yesterday. Like Marie getting back with Cedric as if he had changed, and now she's crying and so surprised that he ain't shit. Like she didn't know he wasn't shit. Like Marie, y'all too fucking old to be fucking foolish. Like the definition of an old fool. That's why I don't know, girl. Maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm really getting like this, like, I just hate, like, girl, if I'm gonna look stupid, I'm gonna look stupid over, girl, by my damn stuff. I'm not letting no nigga make me look stupid, especially not more than once, okay? But you got one time to make me look like a motherfucking fool. But you ain't gonna get a chance to, and then on TV at that. Girl, the same nigga that made you look stupid on TV how many times? And now you crying like, oh my God. He said that he had changed. He said, girl, he had changed. And he talking about you need to be submissive to me. Girl. Miss Carrie, baby, and Matt, she took that drawstring ponytail out. I said, no, that's right. Now she got a bob. So Miss Carrie got a bob. She's planning a birthday party. I think she said she's turning 44. It's going to be a Love Jones themed birthday party. Girl, I feel like nobody really came in theme. I mean, they were supposed to dress up like they were in the 90s. I didn't really get 90s from, I really didn't. I didn't get 90s from anybody, but it is what it is, girl. It appears as though one of her locations for Brick and Spoon, I think it's called Brick and Spoon. I don't think it's doing that great, and then the economy. So that's the issues that she's having, and then Latrice and Cliff restaurant. I guess is they have a restaurant taste. Latrice, I guess part of the uniform for the girls at Taste is she wants the girls to wear red lipstick. I feel like that's team too much. Girl, like, I think it's one thing, yes, it's one thing for the dress code to be like no, outrageous hairstyles, no bright colors when it comes to your hair, right? No long nails, too long nails since you'll, if you have to handle food. Certain things I do understand, right? But to tell someone they have to wear red lipstick, girl, like it's stuff like that where you could tell Latrice probably has control issues. I think they talked about that before, right? I don't know. But I thought that was like team too much. Like, damn, a bitch gotta wear red lipstick and no one's really wearing red lipstick. Because, girl, believe it or not, everybody doesn't like red lipstick. Two, everybody doesn't look right in red lipstick. Girl, I don't know. I just feel like that seemed too much. And then she said the dress code, no one is following also. And then she says people show up with their cheeks out. Now that, we would have an issue. I ain't too much worried about no lipstick, but girl, I think it's one thing if that's the setting. Like, I've been to sports bars before and the girls have on little shorts and it might be right below the ass cheek. Like might go to a Hooters. Remember back in the day, I don't know if it's still open, Scott Gertner's in Houston. What is it called? What is it called now? Over there on Richmond and Fountain View. I can't remember. They changed it though. Anyway, so they wear like little tank tops and because it's like a sports bar. So I get sometimes it just depends on the atmosphere. But if you not coming to work with your ass cheeks out, if that's not what we giving over here. Latrice also had blood clots and she was in the hospital for 4 days. Do y'all feel like Latrice and Leticia are like on this competition to like see who can be like the queen bee of the show? I feel like that's what's happening. So, okay, no, I forgot this part because I was about to end this video. Oh, Selena. Let me talk about Selena. Selena is preparing for her 50th birthday party. Selena looks damn good, baby. Selena been a bad bitch even since her dancing doll. What was it called? Dancing dolls. She's having hot flashes. I think that'll be a good storyline. I think it's good when we have like real storylines. So she's having hot flashes, and then Tambra, she still ain't got shit going on. I don't know why Tambra needs to be a friend of the show. Um, oh, so they go to so it's what's her name? Miss Carey's birthday party, and Latrice, says she can be around Leticia. They just ain't gonna say nothing. They just not gonna talk to each other. Latrice, this is what I be thinking. Girl, y'all be throwing shade like y'all got a good nigga on y'all arm. Latrice says, seeing Marie, because Marie and Leticia came together. It was supposed to be like a couple's birthday party, I guess, because it was like Love Jones, the movie. She says that seeing Marie and Leticia walk in with no man on their arm ain't a surprise. Marie runs off every man she has, and Leticia and Glenn break up every 2 days. Girl, the man you got on your arm ain't no prize. Like, girl, Latrice, baby girl, I'm sorry, but girl, we remember Cliff yanking your black ass up in the middle of a parking lot calling you a bitch. Hello? Like, all I'm saying is like, what is he talking about? Like, the way people be throwing shade for people not having a man. Girl, I'd rather have no man than a man that yanks me up, girl, on TV, grab me by my arm, and call me a bitch in the middle of a parking lot. The fuck? Girl. Anyways, I feel like the beef between Latrice and Leticia, I don't, girl, okay. I don't feel like it should, I feel like, I don't think it should be, I don't think it should be, I don't think it should affect Glenn and Cliff's relationship. I don't. I think if Cliff and Glenn, we know it's easier for men to move on in friendships. It's always bros before hoes. Hello? Oh, excuse me, sorry. Girl, I've been sick. It's like at the tail end of it, hopefully. Um, but Latrice doesn't want Cliff talking to Glenn at all. So Cliff and Glenn are talking at Miss Carey's party, and she walks over. She had already told Glenn. No, she had already told Cliff that the most she can say to Glenn, that the most he can say to Glenn is like hi and bye. Anything other than that is a no go. So she sees them talking, and she goes over, and she basically says, "Let me holler at you, girl." I don't. I thought that was seem too much. I do, because you beefing with Leticia, but clearly Glenn and Cliff are able to move on. They want to move on, but because you don't like Leticia, then then Cliff can't talk to Glenn. I don't know. I just think. I mean, but it also goes to show that men. I hate to say this, but men will move on faster than women. A man will move on with another man in friendship just like that. Look how the niggas do on Love and Marriage Huntsville. They don't give a fuck. They'll be friends and talking to each other and taking shots like it ain't nothing. And the women still be pissed off. Anyways, girl, they get up and say poems, and Glenn, one of the poems that he read was basically asking Leticia, did she still love him or something? And Leticia just stood there. And everybody was like, say it, say it, say it. I don't know, girl, it's stupid. Girl, I'm not, like I said, I'm really trying not to get it wrapped up into Leticia and Glenn, because Leticia not leaving her husband. And that's all fine and dandy. That ain't my nigga. Girl, good luck, girl. It is what it is. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Yeah, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. That's right, because I'm coming back with a Hot Topics video. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Until the Hot Topics video. Bye, y'all.